car is still a lot of fun to drive, man. Here we are today with another new delivery. Yes, if you guys have been following the channel, new delivery cars have been coming fast and furious over the last several weeks. I think this is our, oh gosh, maybe 5th car we've taken delivery of just in the last few weeks. So yes, the wallet is hurting a little bit, but we have my 2025 Ferrari Roma Spider. Why did Ferrari even come out with this car? Where does it stand in their lineup of current models, and what was the why behind why they thought they needed this car? Because listen, when this car was introduced, Ferrari was still producing the Portofino and ultimately the Portofino M's, which is a fantastic car, a hardtop convertible, front mid-engine V8. We have now a soft top convertible, front mid-engine twin turbo V8 from Ferrari. Why do they need 2 of cars that on paper look very, very similar? This car stands as a very different move for Ferrari, namely that the biggest goal they were trying to achieve was to go after someone that wanted a really nice high-end sports car but wasn't quite comfortable enough with something as flashy as a Ferrari. I mean, let's face it, an SF90XX doesn't exactly fly under the radar. And so they were looking for something that was a little more classy in its presentation and in its appearance, kind of down-tone some of the flashiness of that good old Italian styling for sure, and go more, I think I would liken it more towards styling cues, more elegance and sophistication of like an Aston Martin, which makes absolutely beautiful vehicles, and also the guys that they were either considering a 911 Turbo S, something that was a little more under the radar that kind of fits more their, not only their personality, but a lot of times where they're at professionally, pulling up to the office in a big flashy Ferrari or Lamborghini or something like that probably doesn't play well for them. I was at the dealership actually specking out another car. They had the demo there, and I took it for a quick little drive. Really, I expected to kind of dog on the car. I really, really did. I drove the car and really surprised me, and I'm gonna save all that for our on-road review. Right now, I gotta tell you, this is, if not it's definitely one of the most expensive specs of any Roma Spider. This green color, and I don't know how it's going to show up on the camera, but it's very, very heavy with gold metal flake. I mean, it's a lot in there. And it's not a Ferrari, it's not even a Ferrari specialty color. If you do a tailor-made car with Ferrari, they will allow you to create your own color, and then, I don't know, but after a certain period of time, Ferrari can then make that color available to other customers. I didn't know that's what this was. We were in Italy specking another car at the time, decided to go and spec our Roma Spider. Saw this color on the wall and I thought that is a stunning, super cool color. When you see it in person, it's got so much depth to it because of all that metallic flake, and it also is a triple layer color. So instinctively I thought, I wonder if that's a special color that they designed for a customer. If it is, it's going to be expensive, but they don't tell you those things when you're just putting pieces together. So we grabbed that color. Next thing you know, we moved down to the carbon fiber. My wife and I just kind of jokingly said, wouldn't gold carbon fiber look cool with so much gold heavy flake in the car? And sure enough, Ferrari says, hey, we can make that happen. Again, in the back of my mind, I'm going, I bet you can for a crazy dollar amount. Gold carbon fiber. The name of this color is called Always Lucky, which I thought was pretty hilarious. Keeping with kind of that gold theme, we went with these kind of matte gold wheels. I was a little worried on how they were going to come out, but I absolutely love just that they got the right tone and that right kind of, they're not really matte, they're more satin, if you will. But spent, what is it, I don't know, $14,000, $15,000, $16,000 to have the hand airbrush badges put on the sides of the car. Clearly there's a theme here where we're sparing no expense. Then we get to the interior. We were really wanting to go after kind of more of a throwback, more of a traditional classic, classy looking Ferrari, something more that you would see in the 50s. Way before every road going Ferrari you would see were always red for the most part, and of course a few other colors, but mostly red. But back in the 50s you would still see a lot of silvers, some greens, some different tones of greens, and they'd always have kind of that more classic interior. So we went with this interior here, this leather here, which is kind of more of a baseball glove type color with the deviated stitching. We continued on with the gold accents on the inside for some of these leather inlays and trims that they did around the interior. And I honestly think it came out extremely classy. Again, this car to me is a car that's more about class and sophistication married up with a 612 horsepower car. That's a lot of horsepower. Let's remember a Lamborghini Huracan, which I'm a huge fan of, that's a 610 horsepower car. And all that being rear wheel driven, which you know that means this car rotates with a lot of fun behind it. This is like a $274,000 base model car. My total MSRP on this car was $517,000. Am I out of my mind? Probably so. Did it have a reason behind it? Yes, and we'll discuss that later in the video. With that, I think the next thing to do, we got to get this car on the road and let me guys show you how it drives, what I really think of it, pros and cons, and there's a lot to discuss there. Again, this is a car that's supposed to be daily driven, so pros and cons mean a lot when you're driving this car a significant amount of the time. But before we do that, today we're rocking what I thought was the perfect watch to marry up with this gorgeous green Roma Spider, the Sky Dweller yellow gold with the green dial. The green's actually a pretty nice match to the color of the car. Sky Dweller is one of my favorite movements from Rolex. And once I saw the yellow gold with the green dial, I absolutely fell in love with it. So with that, let's get this car on the road because there's a lot to talk about. This review is going to be actually very, very different than any other car review I've ever done because I'm always bringing you guys whatever our latest and greatest supercar is that we've recently added to the collection. And some of the cars such as F40, F50, La Ferrari, what makes them legendary. And I absolutely love doing that with you guys. I get these cars out on the road, I start putting them through their paces and really having a lot of fun and trying to show you guys what it is about those cars that stirs the excitement and you know, it's everything that we all dream of when we dream of these supercars that are posters on our wall and all of that. This car is very, very different. This car is really much more of a utilitarian utilization. I think the review of this car has got to be looked at from a very different perspective in such that this is a car I'm going to daily drive. It just happens to have a Ferrari badge on it. I haven't owned what I would call a true daily driving car in probably 4 or 5 years. As our collection's grown, I love driving everything I own. I try to grab and drive something different every day to not only enjoy the cars, but keep them in good rotation and to maximize my enjoyment time of all those cars, especially when you've got a 28, 29 car collection. You drove one a day, every day for a month. It takes you almost a month to get through each one. And then of course with my travel and race schedule and things like that, you know, even driving a different one every day that my wife and I are actually in town and home, I'm probably driving those cars once every 3 months. Why does all that matter? Well, supercars inherently are going to come with compromises. There's going to be some ride comfort compromises. There's going to be massive storage compromises, little to zero in most cases. When you're driving those cars once a month or once every 2 or 3 months, you really don't care about those compromises because you're so focused on what makes the car so great. This car, however, it's all about what makes this car so convenient, what makes this a good daily driving car. With that being said, I think you have to start with the things that are the nuances, are the compromises with this car, because I will be living with this car theoretically on a much more regular basis. First of all, this, I'm calling it a tablet. It looks like it's about 15-year-old technology, and they just wedged it between 2 pillars on each side of this center dash and just kind of wedged it in there. The way it's positioned, and you guys know how much I love convertibles, which means I'm going to drive this car with the top down as much as possible. And as you can see, I hope the camera's catching it, you get just this absolute total glare on that screen. The only thing you really can see are fingerprints all over the tablet, and it just is really poorly executed. It wasn't placed well, it's not at the right angle. The whole thing is not really great. This is the first time in a very long time that I've even bothered to connect my car to Bluetooth or Apple CarPlay. It's a car that I'd probably put the top up, take some business calls, so having the Apple CarPlay and the Bluetooth capabilities in this car is gonna be absolutely a must. These things absolutely matter, and they're not done well. I don't care what brand or what logo is on the car, regardless of it, I would be complaining about those elements. You know, with the Apple CarPlay, it works when it wants to work. Other times it gets a little quirky. There, oh, now it wants to show. That's so stupid.
CarPlay issues.
Yeah. You know, I'd like to think that all the software updates and recall campaigns or whatever have already been done for the Romas and the Roma Spiders, but you know, apparently not. Same goes with the air conditioning. Now, the AC, it does blow cold. It does work very well. The vents are actually kind of cool. I like the way they're shaped. They kind of float within the frame. It's a pretty neat design, but for some reason, and I can't figure out why, every single time I get in this car, what I try to do is I set it on auto. I choose my temperature, and then I sync it so that the left and right side, driver's side, passenger side, are blowing at the same temperature. For some reason, just about every time I stop and start the car and restart it, I have to go through that process again of auto, sync, and it kind of gets a little fidgety. Even right now, the driver's side and passenger side are, again, not in sync. I just synced them again when I got in the car, so I got to go here, click on it, click sync again. And that's the other thing, it keeps falling out of auto. It's such a silly quirk that regardless of the brand and logo, you shouldn't have to deal with something stupid like that. If a guy's gonna go buy an Aston Martin, a 911, pretty good chance that guy plays golf. My 812 Superfast, I had zero problem storing my clubs in the trunk of that car. The trunk of this car is, honestly, it's a joke. I don't think I could get even just the golf bag in here by itself. They'll either lay in the back seat if I've got a passenger, or they'll just lay here in the passenger seat, which is, you know, that's what I do in my LaFerrari or any of the other supercars. And then another just goofy, quirky thing. Taking my sip of water, I'm chatting with you guys here, but looking down, look at where they decide to put the key holder. It's right here. So that's where you place the key when you're driving. So when you get out of the car, you gotta take your drink out, you gotta push up on this, and then you gotta kind of pry the key out of that little holding slot there. I'm not trying to nitpick the car or anything, but again, if I'm in the car every day or more times than not, little things like that are really gonna annoy the hell out of me, and they already kind of do. I know I've been going on and I've been nitpicking this car, but I'm still smiling about this car. It's still pretty darn cool. It's still very much a Ferrari. You drop this thing down, and you still got 610 horsepower right under your foot, twin turbocharged V8, zero turbo lag whatsoever. Sounds pretty darn good, and the car is fast. And again, going these creature comforts, listen, today's a nice, beautiful, sunny day, but this car's got everything. It's got even a heated steering wheel, heated seats. It's even got the little neck scarf that blows heat on your neck. Works pretty well. We had a nice little cold snap a couple days ago here in Houston. It was like 48 degrees. My wife and I were gonna go have dinner somewhere locally, and we still wanted to drop the top. It was a gorgeous night, just chilly, and put on the heated seats, a little neck warmer. We were perfectly comfortable. That actually works really well. I'll be honest, I didn't expect it to work very well, but it actually works really, really well. The driving characteristics of the car, the brakes are great. I mean, this car, absolutely moves. I mean, it is fast, and I mean, really fast. So it's still very much Ferrari, but now you've got a daily driving car with a lot of really good creature comforts that's still very fast. I think the cars are absolutely gorgeous. I really do. I think, honestly, I think the Roma's gonna age maybe even a little better than the Amalfi. The steering is very quick, very responsive. It gives good feedback. It's not the steering of, say, you know, the SF90XX. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily the steering of the 12 Cilindri, which is very, very good. This is kind of somewhere in between. Definitely not twitchy at all, zero twitches at all, like the 812 super fast. I don't get as much feel in the front end as I do the 12 Cilindri, but that's not the point of this car. I would put the steering right there with the 911, and I do think it's better steering than any Aston Martin I've ever driven. I think for what this model is and where this car serves in Ferrari's lineup, I think it's spot on. Excellent steering, great brakes. You know, the view from the driving position of the car, obviously it's a convertible, so you got all the 360 view that you want, so that's really great. Another quirk about this car, and I mean it really drives me nuts, this goofy panel back here that pops up when you put the top down. It's supposed to, and if you look here closely, it shows the wind blowing over the top of the car. No, doesn't work. I think one of the best ones designed, I always think of the Turbo S Cabriolet, because that was two cars that I own, but they had that pop-up windscreen in the back, and you could go 140 miles an hour down the highway and your hair's not blowing at all. Ask me how I know. I'm gonna go ESC off here, just see how that works. First gear, power, start, brake, gas, and go. Woo! Absolutely a Ferrari. The other thing I love about the way this car drives, it's rear wheel driven. So it actually is a little tail happy, which I really like. It makes this car a lot of fun to drive. I mean, it really does. Listen, I love a Huracan and things like that. And yeah, I know the STOs are rear wheel driven, and they are fantastic. I do love the STO. But I have a car, you know, that's built around being this practical and this comfortable and this, you know, understated, if you will. But it still be rear wheel driven, 610, 620 horsepower, whatever it is, to the rear wheels. And I still get to play with the tail end as I'm playing around town. Because listen, you know, life's too short to drive boring cars. Hold on, and let's go. Truck here. Oh, yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Woo! Oh, this car is still a lot of fun to drive, man. It is a lot of fun to drive. Oh yeah. And this is the secret sauce here. This is where I think Ferrari really got it right here, is they made a car that's very practical, daily drivable, but yet so much fun to drive still. It still does have the heart and soul, hello Mr. Police Officer, of a Ferrari. It still does what it's supposed to do when you buy a Ferrari, because you're still buying what's supposed to be one of the most high performance sports cars you possibly can buy. And for what this car is and the boxes that it checks, it is still a lot of fun to drive. Which brings me to what we've been talking about. Why did I go so crazy on this spec? Okay, so I decided, and again, I want to make something really clear. I'm already a top client with Ferrari. So I don't even want to hear the comments in there that, oh, he bought the car because he had to buy it. You know, listen, I've got, what, $25 million worth of Ferraris right now, with many more on order already, including the F80, the Dodge Challenger Coupe and Spider, the 849 Testarossa, all that's on order. So I'm in good standing with Ferrari. Me buying a Roma Spider doesn't move the needle in my profile. I didn't have to buy this car at all. So let's just address that right then and there. I wanted to buy this car because I did realize it had been years since I had a daily driving car, and this really checked all the boxes of what I wanted in a daily driving car that's still really fun to drive. And you're not gonna buy a sports car, and again, I know I went on about the cons, you're not gonna buy a sports car that doesn't have some compromises. That's just the way it goes. But with this car, the compromises, and there's some, yeah, that are gonna be on my nerves from time to time, absolutely. But it's still, I think it's a beautiful car and tons of fun to drive. And honestly, believe it or not, it's a car I'm gonna keep for a long time. I don't really have a desire to burn through a bunch of daily driving cars. That's really not what it's all about for me. I wanna get into some of my really awesome, fun supercars every day and drive them as much as I possibly can and enjoy them for everything that they're built to be. But there is a car that I need to have in my collection that occasionally I get into, whether it be a rainy day, or as I said, I've got business calls to make while I'm in transit to another spot, or I got meetings to go to, and this car checks all the boxes. So I thought, you know what, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it up. I'm gonna go bonkers on that car, because I want it to be a car that every time I go to get into it, puts a big old smile on my face. And going crazy with this spec and the way that it turned out, this one really does do it for me.